Hello and welcome to Crappy Hour Live. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Good. This is our bi weekly chat about shit that happens on Bravo. What do you think about that, Ben?
I think it's great. I'm very excited about it. I love Crappy Hour. It's nice to be back. Nice to be back. And we had a big long weekend, so it's nice to have like a little bit of like a what do you? No, it's not a come down, but it's like a denouement, right? It's sort of like a post show here after the Crappies.
Yeah, we had a super fun time. I think I'm thinning out my skin too much with all this face product I'm putting on it because see this red on my nose? Do you see it, Ben? This
Okay.
red dot?
Is it leprosy?
Yeah, my nose is falling off. This is from pulling my shirt on every day, my t-shirt on. It's now scraping my nose. This is where it hits my nose, and I'm
Okay.
scraping it. I think that's how sensitive my skin is getting. So you know what? There is such thing as too much tretinoin. That's
Okay.
that's my advice to start everybody off. Calm down on the tret, okay,
Tread,
everybody. Calm
tread,
down on the tret.
tread carefully with tretinoin. That should be their new slogan. You know.
Tretinoin.
Trent Allen. By the way, over on YouTube, SE says, "Hey guys, you were amazing on Saturday. Thank you very, very much. You guys, it wasn't you guys were amazing. Everyone who was in the audience and everyone who tuned in online, and to get the best. One of my favorite things is after everything is said and done. We went out to a bar afterwards, we partied, and then I went out and got late night Korean food. I got back to my home around 3:30 in the morning, and then I got into bed and I like opened up my phone and to see all the really kind words that everyone was saying, all the really sweet words, all the beautiful things that everyone posted on social media and all the amazing photos. It really is like it's really great. It's so cheesy because we do put so much work into it, but it really does make it all worth it. Like it feels great.
Yes, that was a very good time. Okay, so what's going on in the Bravo world, Ben?
What's going on in the Bravo
What you want to
world?
talk about?
Well, I was
Well,
just okay. You go.
no, go
You
ahead.
answer
I,
the you
I
answer
thought
the
I caught
question
you
for
off.
me.
I thought I caught you off guard. Sorry.
Nope, I was here to say that I was just watching The Housewife and The Hustler Part 2 right before this. And I thought you'd be very proud of me that I was
Yes,
catching
I
up on
am
my
proud of you. How
Erika
far
Jane
did you
legal
get through
drama.
it?
I got most of the way through it. I had like a little call in the middle of it, which delayed me. I was going to finish it right on time. But I got through the part where Erika, the Marco Marco part, where they were like, I did not realize when you had told me that Erica wore a wire and was like part of like ruining some designer's life. I thought it was like some random person on like Etsy. I didn't realize it was Marco Marco. I mean, Marco Marco is like established and famous. They're noteworthy. I
Yeah, they're
was
huge.
shocked. I
Yeah.
was shocked when they first showed up on the documentary. I was like, "Oh, I love a messy gay who's gonna come and talk shit about like Erica." I didn't realize it was not a messy gay situation. That it was like these were the victims. It actually kind of rattled me. I thought it was a really terrible story. Like it's just such an awful thing to do to what seemed like two very nice people.
Yeah, that was really, really not good. And it kind of explains her sharp turn in the costume department.
Yes,
Very
and
bad.
also like I mean, there's still still a large part of me believes that still this was really mainly Tom Girardi who was like, need my money back, gonna do this thing, Erica, you have to do this for me. I do believe that he was definitely bossing her around. But that being said, if even if that were the case, I really don't like that she would use the wire in a federal crime case as like a silly answer to two truths and a lie. So like
Yeah,
even if
like
you are
bragging about it. Like, oh, it's so fun. Yeah, I used a wire in a federal fraud case.
yeah, like if she were
LOL,
like
girls. LOL,
yeah,
bitch.
yeah, like if it were a situation where she was like, you know, I had to turn on my friends because this is the sort of person I lived with, and I had to do this, and I was led to believe that they had defrauded us, and that I thought I was the one being betrayed. If she had come like that, it's like okay, I have sympathy. But the fact that she's like, well, here's a fun story. I once wore a wire in a case where you like nearly threw someone that was a friend of yours, someone a collaborator, someone who was like by all accounts seems like a nice person in jail and like potentially destroy his company. I was like, that. I
Yeah,
was really rattled by it.
for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, basically there's this sequel to that documentary, and one of the things that they revealed is that Erika was using this famous costume designer to do all of her stuff, and when she walked in there, she said, "Money is not an object. We won't be needing invoices or whatever." So she's asking for all this expensive shit. He's making her $10,000 costumes for all of her stuff. It was over $1 million, millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff. And then Erika and Tom ran out of money. And because they couldn't pay, they accused this guy of fraud and said that he was overcharging them all of this stuff. They come take this guy, take him to jail, like ruin his life. He was about to adopt a child. The chances for that were ruined. They ruined his company. They ruined this guy's life because they couldn't pay their fucking bills. And then the charges were dropped. And it turns out that Tom was friends with the Secret Service who led this arrest and investigation and everything else. It's really, really bad. So for Erika to just show up bragging about it and laughing about it, I mean,
It's wild. I had a.
Are you impressed with how quickly I did that, man? You're welcome.
Very impressed. I had a roommate who Ronnie, but I won't say who it is, who used to work for a powerful person here in LA. It's a very, very wealthy person, but the person was Meshuggah. And he came to believe that all his employees had stolen from him, and he sued them all. And so my roommate was basically stuck in litigation for several years, dealing with it. And I think I was younger. It was like, it was like 15, 18 years ago. So I was like, oh, it'll work out because I know he didn't steal anything. This is like the most ridiculous suit. But like watching Marco, I really kind of reflected on how hard that actually really must have been for my roommate. And like, that is so scary when you have like these really powerful people who are abusing their power for some either like paranoia or in this case, in the case of Tom Girardi, financial gain. And then innocent people who don't have a lot of power, who are just trying to like make their way in the world, wind up, getting ground down because of it. It's really terrible. I really the whole thing made me really think about my roommate and made me reflect on how I don't think I really appreciated at the time how difficult it was for him.
You see, there's the real message. This really hurt Ben's roommate at the end of the day.
Guys, made me realize my roommate really went through it. But it's true. I mean, they were all, it's like these people, these people who have a lot of money and power, they just, they don't care who is, whose businesses, whose career paths, whose families get messed up, because they just, they want their money or, they're out of money.
Yeah. Don't trust rich people. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't trust poor people either. Don't trust people. There you go. Hugs, everybody.
Don't trust people, I think, is a great takeaway.
That's always been my lesson, guys. Trust no one. Hugs. Oh,
no one.
Those are going to be my wedding vows. I vow nothing, and I trust you not. Let's get married anyway. Let's do it and hope you die first with more money. Okay, so there was a rumor that Cynthia got married over Valentine's Day weekend, or Valentine's Day, but it was probably an ad for something. What do you think?
Cynthia getting married. I don't... Who... Huh.
Okay, here's the headline.
I'm looking
Real Housewives of Atlanta. Cynthia Bailey shocks fans with Valentine's Day wedding video. Every day, I love you more. And it's a music video of her putting on wedding dress, getting it zipped up, putting on a wedding ring, wedding shoes, and, fade out, fade into her taking deep breaths as she sits and gets ready for her wedding.
I guarantee you she did not get married.
No.
With the amount
and then we
of
see
times...
a bald guy, the back of a bald guy's head as he slowly sips some scotch or something, and then we never see his face.
No. Here's the thing. With the amount of time that Cynthia spoke to us about 50 Cent and Chill, she can't keep her mouth shut about if she was in a relationship. There's no way she's having a discreet relationship and not broadcasting it to the mountaintops.
Right.
I'm coming up with an acronym, okay?
That was a trick question. You're correct. It was an ad for a bridal shop. So.
There it is.
Yeah. Let's see what else.
Yeah,
not a whole lot. I think the big news that was circulating. Oh, Heather Gay. Yes. Okay. Well, Heather Gay. People asking why Heather Gay unfollowed us. First of all, you guys, Are we housewives that you're checking up on who's following us and who's not following us? That's crazy.
Makes me feel very important. That
I
people
know.
are
We
paying
felt
attention
really
to who's
good because we
unfollowed
started
us.
getting questions about that. And we thought
Who
it was really
unfollowed
funny
us?
that anybody gives a crap that Heather Gay unfollowed us. But yes, it is true. Heather Gay did get pissed off at us, and she did unfollow us because her skin is as light as it seems to be on television. And she got very upset that we invited Monica. Well, we did not invite Monica, but we nominated Monica for some crappy awards, and that set Heather off because Monica is like a real criminal. And I tried to explain to her, well, I mean, first of all, like, I'm not going to change my show for you. Like, you're nice and everything, but we're still going to do a show about Bravo, whether you're here or not. Okay, lady? Like, I have been doing this show before you were on Bravo, and I will be doing this show after you are gone from Bravo. And you're not going to tell me what to do, okay? And Monica is an asshole, but she was a very popular, hilarious asshole who gave you guys a very good season. So,
Let me tell you
back
something.
off. Okay?
Let me tell you something. For us to not nominate Monica as best newbie would be such an insincere bullshit. Okay, I love Heather Gay, but if she's upset at us and she's mad at us because we nominated someone who was such an impactful new Bravo person, like, you can't make us feel bad about doing that. It's a TV show. Are you gonna now not follow the LA Times that wrote a profile about it? Are you now gonna not follow Variety that wrote a profile about Monica? But suddenly we nominate in a gag award show, which, by the way, we are no longer a gag award show because now that we have people unfollowing us because of who we nominate means that our awards now mean something. So thank you.
Get the fuck out of here, lady. I even bought your book twice and listened to your ass for 6 hours in a row. So go away, all right? And yeah, someone just said in the comment, keep your energy for Jen, okay? So whatever. Listen, I always really liked Heather. I thought she was really nice. I think Heather probably does not love the fact that we don't just kiss her ass completely, did not completely buy everything she was hurling at people during that finale. I certainly didn't. And you know what? That's just how it is. And that's why I can't make friends in that world, because I'm going to still show up to work and talk shit. That's what I do. And if you do something stupid on TV or something that I think is bullshit, I'm going to say it. That is literally what I do. I'm not here for you. I'm here for Ben and the listeners. So piss off, all right? And when you're ready to go back to play some poker in Vegas, give me a call. But my advice until then is get the fuck over it, okay? Because I'm still going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, look. I feel like she will get over it. She will follow us again. You know, she's in her feelings about it. And you know what? By the way, Monica is a fucking asshole and she's a disaster. But we have to be, first and foremost, we have to be authentic to ourselves and our podcast and our freaking award show. And we have to do that before we are
our
authentic
award
to
show.
any Real
This is a
Housewives.
very serious award. How dare you come for the crackers?
Yeah. Well, no, honestly, could you imagine if we're like, oh wow, you're right. Like she is a criminal and she should be disqualified. Hell no. We have a sandwich, by the way. We nominated a sandwich in a category, okay? Pavitt lost. Pavitt and his sandwich split their votes, okay? So here's Heather saying that we're elevating Monica by giving her nominations on our show. Well, guess what? Monica is just as good as a banh mi sandwich right now. So congratulations, okay? I like you, Heather. But let's bring it back in. It's the
Yeah,
crackers.
you know, just general advice, and also to us. This is anyone involved with Bravo in any way, or podcast, or entertainment in general. But I think especially the Housewives. But I will take my own advice. Don't get too far up your ass, and don't take yourself seriously. This is all fucking stupid, and you're part of a giant cartoon. So get the fuck over yourself, okay? Please.
Now, I'll tell
okay,
you,
so let's.
By the way, I just want to say also, someone who did get it and was super cool. Honestly, Sheena. Sheena was great. She came in. She was down for everything. She was on that stage. She was hilarious. She came in with ideas on how to even like up what we were gonna do with her. And not only that, she stayed until the very we came off stage at the end of the show and she was there ready to still hang out. Like, she did not be like, I'm gonna do my thing at the top of the show and peace out. She was down. I have to say, I really, you know what, our little Shishu.
Our
She
little
really is an
Shishu,
icon.
I was really impressed too. we know that Shishu's nice. Like, we've met her before, and she's always been really nice. But I think being friends with Ariana and stuff, Ariana's a listener. She like actually listens to it, and so I think she tells people listen to it, and then they listen to it, and then we're being mean to them or whatever. And Shishu's a sweet, innocent soul in a lot of ways, and I think that she's sensitive, and she probably listened to it and thought we were going to be mean to her or whatever, and she came despite that. And we could tell she was a little scared before she came. Just the before the show stuff, we could tell she was a little nervous. But she came and she did a great job, and she was a really good sport. You know who else did not come, but she couldn't because they were shooting. But also Heather opens up the door for people like Angie, who is a good sport, and sent in a whole video mocking herself and her whole "I am Greek" stuff.
Yeah.
And so
People,
be careful up on that pedestal.
Yeah, exactly. We really appreciate people who get the joke, who understand what it is. This is all a big fan celebration because you know what? We're all fans of Bravo. We watch these shows, and I understand why Heather would be like, "Fuck Monica," like for sure. But like, you also have to understand why we watch these shows and be like, "Oh my God, like wow, Monica, what a great addition to that season! That was what a wild ride we went on." You can't deny us as fans our reactions to watching your cartoon.
Right. What are we not going to nominate Glenn Close for Fatal Attraction? I mean, sure, she was crazy. That was the point.
Yeah, I like bunnies, but we also have to nominate Glenn Close, okay?
Right. You don't get mad at a chef for cooking a bunny. Why would you get mad at Glenn Close? Why is it only okay for some people?
Listen, Heather will settle down. She will settle down, and she will come back.
But
for right now,
will I settle down?
That's the thing. I don't know. Well, we're gonna maybe you and Heather need to have a sit down in an ice maze,
right?
And cook sausages over flames, like some sort of strange fire pit, and then maybe there can be peace.
No, I take my own advice. I don't take this shit too seriously. I know it's so stupid. So that's why I'm always shocked when I meet people in Bravo who take it seriously, because it seems like they would know better than anybody that this is a giant cartoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people don't. Okay, so let's see what else is happening. Shishu bought a house. That was in the news. She bought a farmhouse. She bought a modern farmhouse in Charlotte. Okay. Oh, also those Blink 187 dudes or whatever were there. We saw one of those guys.
No, the 27, the Blink one, the 27s. Yeah, that's who she did the Good as Gold remix with. Which she's like, I think Shishu is releasing more music very soon. She was telling us, and we were gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna ask you about that on stage. And then we didn't. So keep an eye and ear out for Shishu's new music. I mean, I'm sure she'll post it everywhere. So.
Yeah, so that was in some news. The big news that was happening was Larsa and Marcus's PR breakup stunt, where they broke up with each other. They unfollowed each other on the Super Bowl. Did we? We didn't talk about that on Crappy Hour, right? When did we talk about that?
No, the breakup happened like a week ago because I know I had the in memoriam for the Crappies already, and then I was like, oh my God. It is my duty and obligation to make sure that Larsa and Marcus are included in the in memoriam, even though I knew it was, by the way, it was totally fake. And I knew it's just a publicity stunt. Like, there could be no one else who would be more publicity stuntish. But yeah, it happened during the Super Bowl. We talked about it on the show. We said, of course, these two dum-dums. No, did we talk about it in the show? I don't know where we talked about it. It wasn't on Crappy Hour. But of course, Larsa tried to upstage the Super Bowl by announcing cryptically her separation from Marcus during the game.
Yes, and we didn't really believe it. Just posted a picture with his dad, and people were like, "Oh my God, this means it's real. That means it's really real when you're bringing MJ into it." But then they started following each other again, and then they were seen at a jewelry shop together, buying a ring shopping, which is, I mean, wow, that's like stealing from Kyle, because Kyle just doing the whole like, I'm ring shopping with Morgan Wade.
Yeah. That is definitely very Kyle. And I believe that the breaking news from today is that they were roasted by a comedian to their face, right? They like went to it looked like there was like a comedian on like the beach or something, and they were walking, I don't know if they were walking by or whatever, but the comedian was like, oh, that's like Larsa Pippen. Wow, she fucked up both Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. That's some talent. So he said something like that to her. And she probably was like, I don't get it. Like, why would people be mean to me? Like, I'm just like in love. Like, I don't try to even say his name. Like,
yeah, like I like new Kardashians one time. So that's like really mean. Like, Yeah, she's ridiculous. And then there was a post of Morgan. So everybody thought Morgan and Kyle broke up because they didn't unfollow each other, but they erased each other's pictures from their Instagrams, Ben. It was a huge thing. And everyone's like, oh my God, is Kyle okay with Morgan? Is Morgan okay with Kyle? But then on Valentine's Day, they took a picture with Kesha, and Kesha was holding up a cardboard sign that said, "Freedom, I've been waiting for you," or something like that. So people were like, "Oh my God, Kyle's getting a divorce from Maurizio," but of course it was about Kesha. But if a Bravo star posts with like Alexander Graham Bell, people would be like, "Oh my God, did Kyle invent the light bulb?" No. They always make it about the Bravo star. No, I think it was about Kesha finding freedom, because she was like with that guy who like cultified her or did whatever to her.
Dr. Luke.
Which was so weird because then she was part of that singing competition where it was like trying to bring down a wall. Like you had to break down the wall because like people were like going to get stuck behind the wall or some shit. I don't know. It was like some singing competition. I went to see that. My friend Trisha worked on it. It was really weird.
I totally forgot about that. That was like after The Voice when everyone was trying to do strange like music competitions that involved props because The Voice had chairs that would swivel. So they're like, how about a wall? They're like, how about a bulldozer that just bulldozes you off the stage if you're bad?
I've got a new singing competition where if the judge likes you, Adele's going to slip and slide right past you. Okay, everybody? Wait to see if you get splashed by Adele passing by.
I mean, they continue to do this. I mean, The Masked Singer, that's literally like people dressed in crazy costumes and they have to sing songs. People like Tom Sandoval. And
Rising Star on ABC. Okay, well, Artiana is yawning, and someone else said, focus, you guys. Simon. Okay, so Simon is, God, we should have you guys during the show. Seriously. They're like, focus, you idiots. Okay, so Simon, this is Porsha's Simon. All this stuff came out this week. Now, of course, for those of you who don't know, Porsha has announced that she is coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And actually, I announced it 2 weeks ago here on Crappy Hour Live that Porsha and Nene were both returning. But then I took it back because I couldn't find proof. Whatever I had read that day had been erased. So does that mean that Nene's coming later? I don't know. But
she said today she's not.
Heard it from me first. Okay, there you go.
Today it was like not, but you never know.
So I got half of it right, at least, from whoever I stole that from that day or whoever I read it off of. So anyway, Porsha is coming back, and almost immediately they posted that her husband is a scammer. He's been deported a bunch of times. He's got bank fraud and all this stuff. He keeps returning with fake names and all of this stuff. Not shocked, because just anyone who's that rich and you can't really explain to me why. I feel like rich people, like truly rich people, love explaining why they're that rich, I was poor. My dad had nothing. And then I invented a button, and it's like then they don't shut the fuck up about a button for 5 hours. That's how rich people are. But Simon, it always seemed kind of fishy every time they tried to explain it. And so, it's like PK and Dorit, just constantly waiting, to see when they're going to go to jail. So what do you think? Did you hear about any of this stuff with Simon?
No, the only thing I'd seen was that Porsha was coming back. I saw her video where she was like, people are saying that Porsha Williams is coming back, and that's not true. But Porsha, goodbye, boo-ba-da, she's in the house. So I was like, I saw that. Bloop. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Who said that? I love that. I will never get sick of that.
No,
who said that?
I was like looking here to see if I could find the information real quickly to download because I did not. I mean, by the way, am I shocked? Am I shocked? No. Am I surprised? No. I mean, of course this guy is like shady. Let's not overlook this entire engagement and marriage and everything. Like everything has been shady about it to me. So not surprised whatsoever.
Do you think they're going to bring Phelan back? Come on, you guys, you have to bring Phelan back.
They should. I feel like they actually dropped the ball on that. The fact that the producers missed that entire love triangle entirely, it speaks to a failure of Atlanta the past few seasons, to be honest.
Okay, well, let me just say this is from a site called Baller Alert. And the headline is Porsha Williams' husband, Simon Guobadia, faces citizenship hurdles amid criminal history and immigration controversy. In a significant legal development, the USDC for the Northern District of Georgia Atlanta Division has dismissed the case of Simon against the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Blah, blah, blah. Simon, Nigerian citizen, has navigated a tumultuous journey. Credit card fraud got him deported in 1992. Tried to get temporary resident status under a false identity, thereby concealing his criminal history. Fine. This is fine.
This makes sense.
Good. Well, this is called Atlanta making an effort. So, congrats.
One hopes. One hopes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who's making an effort right now. Making an effort to stay relevant by shooting her shot with one of the hottest celebrities out there right now, Bethenny Frankel. Bethenny Frankel is like, how do I get involved in Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? I know. I go after the mother and I go after Ziploc bags. That's what I do. So here she is. Had a social media rant where she was upset that Mama Kelce, Donna Kelce, got an endorsement with Ziploc bags and Bethenny did not. I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why the mother of two currently beloved American football playing celebrities who are attached, one of whom is attached to the biggest star on the planet at the moment. I can't imagine why she would get an endorsement, why someone as warm and lovable and relatable as Bethenny Frankel isn't. I don't understand this world and the lack of justice in it.
I know. I can't believe that no one else sees Bethenny as being as famous as Travis Kelce. I mean, Bethenny does.
The fact that Ronnie knows who Travis Kelce is, a football player, that's significant, okay? And Bethenny is trying to be like, but what about me? What about me? So she said this in a video. She goes, I want to know why Travis Kelce's mom is being paid for pictures with Ziploc bags coming out of a purse, okay? Okay, because guess what? I was documented at the Real Housewives of New York with my bathing suit stored in Ziploc bags, and there never was a Ziploc bag from me at all times, actually.
Look, I got one right here. Here's a Ziploc bag.
I got a Ziploc bag. Look, I
They're
got a
my
Ziploc
purses.
bag. It's got some lip stuff in it. That's what I do. I've got Ziploc bags. You know,
They're
why
always
not?
traveling with me. Always.
Where's
They're
my
never
deal?
not there.
Where's my
Never
deal?
not there.
Where's it?
No,
Where's
not,
it?
not there.
Where's
you know
it?
what? I call my Ziploc bags little Jill Zarens because they're just always there. Everywhere I look, there's Jill Zarin. There's a Jill Zarin. But in this case, carrying my toiletries, my socks, my air. Sometimes I just put air in a Ziploc. I'm like, this way I have air. This way I'm ready. If I go to France, I don't like the way the air smells in France. I'm like, this air sucks in France. I'm going to have some American air. And I just breathe it from my Ziploc.
I bring cheetah air wherever I go, you know, in case I don't like the local air. I've got cheetah air. All right, it's better. It's from America, so that's why. Yeah, Bethenny, you know, and the thing is, Bethany's kidding, but is she? That's what you never really know.
That's
with
the thing.
Bethany. She's like, look, it's a joke. But she's really like sending warning shots to Ziploc. I mean, you just never know with Bethany.
I mean,
you
the
know?
truth is, there is still an article that has been written about it, which means that chances are she probably had her publicist reach out to, in this case, I'm reading it off of Parade. It went to enough places, which like, yeah, let everyone know. I don't have a Ziploc deal. I want a Ziploc deal. So she's joking, but she's not joking.
She's not joking, yeah. Well, maybe she'll make a podcast about it because I notice what they're doing is they're giving all of these Bravo Labs like podcast platforms now because Bethenny has like her whole network because of course they probably gave her $90 million to do these podcasts on iHeart or wherever she does. I think she's iHeart, right? But she probably got a huge deal, and she, you know, has her like umbrella now. Like she gave Rachel a podcast where Rachel literally comes on there every week to talk about the one season that she was on, like an important. I know she was on more seasons, but the one season that she did anything of note on Vanderpump Rules. How many episodes is that going to be, Rachel? Really?
Yeah, see,
like,
this is what I don't understand. Okay. And so, admittedly, I don't listen to Rachel's podcast. I'm so sorry to everyone. I'm so
I
sorry.
read
I'm sorry to
Vanderpod
Rachel.
recaps. What? Why listen
But-
when you can read it on Vanderpod recaps on Instagram? Ding. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
But from what I gather from things like Vanderpump recaps and Vanderpod recaps, and from what you say and what everyone says, my understanding is that Rachel is spending a lot of time talking about how Tom is a narcissist and all the toxic and harmful things she went through during this relationship. And it's every week she's releasing another episode that's about this. So my question is this to Bethenny Frankel, who is headlining the reality reckoning where she is trying to take down the powers that be that are exploiting poor innocent reality stars. What about you hosting a what about you producing a podcast where someone has to relive the trauma of this situation week after week after week is also not exploitation? That's what I would like to know.
Oh,
Because
it's
to me,
healing,
it
though.
just
This
seems
is
like the
healing,
same
though,
thing.
okay? This is healing. This is healing, though. It's healing, though. It's healing.
Healing.
It's healing.
It's healing like
It's
a
healing.
Ziploc. Like
It's
a Ziploc
healing.
endorsement will be healing to my soul.
And here and I'm struggling whether or not to say it. I'm going to say it. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm going to say it. But I don't want to say this because I feel like this season of Vanderpump Rules is going to turn into the Tom is the real victim here season. And I see it happening. I see it happening online. I don't even want to be part of that. I will say I think it's hypocritical for Rachel to sit here and say that Tom is a narcissist because he makes everything about himself and he's the innocent victim when she comes on and makes everything about herself and talks about how she's the innocent victim of literally everything. She does what Tom does, which is I'm taking responsibility, but then she turns around while she's taking responsibility and blames Tom for like manipulating her into doing all of this stuff. And she didn't know she was with a narcissistic person, which she's right. She was with a narcissistic person.
Yes.
And that was right after James. So I could see how you'd have a little bit of like residue there on your psyche. Okay, I'm not denying that.
A little bit of
but
residue.
It comes across as completely making herself innocent, just like Tom is doing. It's like a nicer, more palatable version of Tom. And as far as I'm concerned, after reading a lot about that podcast, I think they're made for each other. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, they're two like she's better than Tom, but not much. Okay, I'm not buying it.
My feeling is this. Okay, and by the way, I'm not on any high horse about Raquel's future or whatever. I'm just on a high horse about Bethany's hypocrisy. And I say this as a hypocrite. But my high horse is this. I think we all agree that for Rachel, the best thing for her is for her to just sort of like leave the entire situation. Like, go back to the dream of helping special needs kids. Go back to the dream of really anything, but get away from Hollywood, get away from Bravo, get away from reality TV, get away from the reality TV cottage industry. You went through the meat grinder and everything. And if the issue is, oh my God, I was in this terrible narcissistic relationship and I was taken advantage of it by it, whatever, get away, start a life fresh, start doing yoga, all those things, get away from it. And I feel like the fact that Bethenny is like, okay, I'm going to produce a podcast where you can talk about every week is literally just dragging her right back into the muck. It's opening her up to all of us. This crappy hour right here, the two of us, everyone here in the comments, it's opening up Rachel for all the same negativity to come her way. And I actually don't think that's healthy for her. And I think that Bethenny may be saying, oh, this is under the guise of healing, but it's under the guise of making Bethenny money. And so for as much as she talks about the reality reckoning, how about we talk about the Rachel reckoning? How about that?
Where's the Rachel reckoning?
Where's the Rachel reckoning,
Rachel
okay?
Reckoning, okay. Another couple that's really trying it this week has been Jax and Brittany.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to spread rumors that they're broken up, with Brittany supposedly FaceTiming from a different house and Jax posing with his wedding ring up in the air while he's posing kind of romantically with his publicist and trying to make that happen. Nobody believes it. First of all, does anybody believe that Jax would cheat on Brittany? Of course, every morning. At least a blowjob at the gym every single day.
Yes.
And if anyone was getting a dumpster outside of Republic, it was probably Jax. We all know that it's Jax every day with whoever, okay? The Uber driver. He does not care. He'll stick it in wherever there's a wormhole. We know it. Do we care? No, because guess what? You read the package before you ate the meal. You know what I mean? I saw you in the store reading the ingredients list and you still bought that frozen dinner. You are stuck with your own groceries, ma'am. I'm not going to feel bad for you when Jax fucks you over. I don't even care. I can't even believe I'm watching your stupid show.
The sign said McDonald's, and now you want filet mignon. You know what you were walking into.
Yeah,
you knew it
exactly.
The entire time. I'm not buying it. I feel like this is just Jax trying to drum up interest in his future failing show. The thing today is that he's saying that like the reunion is going to be so good, they're going to need security. I'm like, wait, who says anything that there even is a reunion for your show about the Valley? I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Wait, who said their reunion's so good?
Jax, because I just looked right now because I wanted to find more information. And Jax, he says, this is his quote. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay. He says, okay, This was 3 days ago. Sorry. He says the Valley reunion will need security because there's more drama than Vanderpump Rules. And then by the way, look at this. Look at this. I'm sorry.
He's not even being.
enough.
He's not even trying to be subtle. What is it? What does it say?
I'm just saying. Look at that picture, Jax. Wait, let me flip. I'm talking now like Bethany. I'm like, look at this. I can't even deal with this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that guy. Who is that? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on?
See what I'm saying about too much tretinoin? That's Jax. I'll bet he hurts his nose when he pulls on a t-shirt. I'm telling you, I can spot it. Very thin skin. Very, very thin.
He's turning him. It's just not right. By the way, he also got invited to the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning premiere. What is happening in this world? Why do these people say, okay, so you know what? I'm starting to get, I'm understanding Heather Gay's rage. I'm like, why do these people get a platform? Why?
But that's always been the question. That's always been the question, right? With these people. So there's a rumor that Schwartz and Sandy's is closing. There's a couple weird things going on. So one was they were closed one day. TikTok user, somebody went by there and the place was closed, and they said they were closed for a special event. But then it turns out they were closed because there was a protest of the Scientology Celebrity Center, which is, as you know, is right across the street.
Let's talk about
Franklin.
Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. I'm sorry, I'll let me finish.
You see, that's what brought me into it. You said Mission Impossible. I was like, oh my God, Scientology. Poor Leah Remini, the real victim in Scandival. Leah Remini. Or Remini. Is it Remini or Remini? Remini. So anyway, the guy who owns that place with them is apparently a big Scientologist. So he closed because people were, I guess, protesting. Greg is his name. Thank you, somebody in there, Jana. So apparently Greg's a big Scientologist or whatever.
Wow.
To which I asked them, why did you need all that money to open up? Aren't you guys unlimited? Don't you take all your money from the non-paid workers that you steal everything from, allegedly? Leave me alone, Scientology. Seriously, just leave me alone, okay?
Aren't you a little surprised that Jax is not a Scientologist yet?
He's probably tried, and they probably kicked him down the street to that other weird church.
I know. The first person to be rejected from Scientology. Yeah, it's
They're
probably
like, no, sorry.
Mosaic. They give him the wrong address. Oh my goodness. That's wild. I mean, I don't know. I still don't know how Schwartz and Sandy's is going to stay in business. I mean, I feel like at a certain point, like, okay, the curiosity about going there, rubbernecking is going to ease off. And then I just don't see it as a bar for that neighborhood that's going to thrive. I really don't.
Yeah, I think what made the other ones work is that they're all close enough to each other to bar hop to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Lisa Vanderpump owned that whole block, really. She has Sir, Pump, and Tom Tom, where she can just collect your money as you go to each three of the things to try and see celebrities. But when the celebrities have to go to the east side, well, it's not the east side, but comparatively, you still have to get in a cab and go over there. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that realm there, that's by Upright Citizens Brigades. That's like that area there is sort of like hipster, but comedy hipster area, and that's just not Schwartz and Sandy's. Schwartz and Sandy's needs to just sort of like leech off of Sir, and so they're just too far away.
Yeah, people are reminding us that Stassi and Jax went to Scientology when they first got to LA, which is hilarious. I forgot that. But Jax probably went in and they were like, I'm sorry, sir, we're here to clear your brain, and your brain is more clear than anybody else's. So we're actually going to have to ask you your brain is too clear to be here, sir.
By the way, the comments on my Instagram live are not updating, so I'm just stuck. The latest comment has been up there for like 15 minutes saying, talk about Jax and Brittany separation rumors. So I apologize if I'm ignoring commenters. I can't see you.
People are asking to talk about James abuse rumors. Okay, here's the thing. I have read these rumors, James abuse rumors from Vanderpump Rules. I'm not really comfortable talking about it yet because I don't know that much about it, and that's pretty big. And from what I've read, it's been veiled allegations from Kristen, which she's going to unveil, I guess, when it's convenient for, a show or something. Like, I'm assuming that she's alluding to some kind of show kind of thing. And I don't know. I don't doubt it. I mean, James has shown himself to be kind of violent and a drunk, and spit on Kristen's door and did all of that stuff. So,
yeah.
And then there was the whole Raquel, like my nose re-broke because James kind of bumped into me or whatever, that whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of fishy stuff. I don't really have an opinion on it until we hear more from it. What do you think?
Because that's a heavy thing, and like, I will joke about Ziploc bags. I will joke about Bethany Frankel and her reality
Yeah, we
reckoning.
can't joke about someone get abused, you know?
Abuse is like when you don't have all the information. Like, the last thing that I want, you know what I don't want to be part of, is when there is like some documentary that comes out and they're like, everyone was laughing at me, and they pull up clips of us being like, "Oh, what's going on with that abuse?" And we're like, you know, those documentaries where they always show content creators just being mean to people, and then we're the bullies. So
Thankfully, they never show us in those.
I
But
know,
also,
not yet.
yeah, I don't like
We're not going to talk about that. I have a question. Can we talk very briefly about some Traitors stuff? Because Traitors is, you know, the best show.
Yes,
on TV
but
right
can I
now.
say one thing real quick?
Absolutely.
Before we do that, people are asking about Southern Hospitality. We did watch it. We are going to recap that for this week's bonus on Patreon. Not to plug, but just so you know, we are going to be talking about that. We'll probably release it tomorrow at some point. We're going to talk
the
about
plan is to record it tomorrow.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's not a huge amount of news about the Traitors, but I know like we're all watching it. We're all loving it. And I did. There was an interview with Dr. Will in Entertainment Weekly where he doesn't really say much, which is annoying. But they're kind of like, so what's the deal? Like, why do you? Why are the Big Brother people so bad at it? And he's basically like, he basically says what you say, Ronnie. He's like, honestly, I think they went on there to show that they still got it, but they just never had it in the first place. You know, they just were lucky. They all were lucky on their seasons. But he's basically like, they're all just shitty game players. So I thought you would like that you felt backed up by that.
I do, because I love Dr. Will, you know? I like being backed up by someone like that. Love you. I respect your pastiness. I wish I could avoid the sun like you. I wish I had piles of money to hide under like you do. Get my face done.
I guess I didn't really have much more to say about. Oh, the producers are also denying that they intervened to make sure that Peter was saved last week. They are saying that the fire thing was something that was pre-planned, and they would not have intervened because the show doesn't need any intervening.
Well, no, I don't. But, you know, it's funny that human nature will usually take care of stuff anyway, because it's led to a better show, I think, having that. Because they may have saved Peter for 1 week, but then watching Peter just be such an idiot. I think if they got Peter out last week, Peter would have left kind of a hero in a way. Like, oh my God, Peter's such a good person, and he never betrayed the faithfuls. He like stayed the whole time, and he's so smart. And instead, he's there, and so we got to marinate in his stupidity, and now people are seeing what a dumbass he is, and he was never smart in the first place, and you all were giving him too much credit for the very beginning. So I'm actually happy that he stayed now that we're seeing how it's playing out.
I have to say, one thing that's really funny about the Traitors is that we are now at a state where we are actively rooting against the faithfuls that are playing the game properly. Like, well, he's not. He's really fucking it up. But like every time the faithfuls start to do well, we get so mad at them. Like, fuck them, hate them. They should die. Why are they doing this?
I hate the faithfuls. I want them dead. The Traitors for life, of course.
But it's like in the beginning of the season, you're like, you're almost there. But I think it's because in the beginning of the season, Dan was a traitor. And I didn't like Dan as a traitor, and I wanted them to find Dan. But now that Phaedra's in danger, I want all the faithfuls to mess up. It just keeps, the pendulum swings back and forth.
No, I don't want them to find any of the traitors. I love the traitors. Even when it was Dan, I didn't want them to find the traitors. But I mean, I was raised religious. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the traitor. I feel like they were always trying to fucking banish my ass. And so now, of course, I'm just projecting. I'm like, I hope that they get our neighbors down the street who first said I was gay to all the moms on the street. Got everybody to hate me. Like, I'm making it all about my childhood. It's like, it's not about you, Ronnie, you know?
I like that. Well, maybe I'll amend it. How about I amend it to this, which is that for some reason on this show, they seem to get rid of the people that I want to stick around really early. So like I would have liked Larsa to have been around longer, and Tamara. Well, Tamara got murdered, but why couldn't they have had a witch hunt against Peter and Kevin earlier on? They're so generic and boring. Like we don't, and yet we're stuck with them week after week. Whereas interesting people like Janelle, Larsa, Peppermint, they're gone. That's not cool. I hate the faithfuls.
Yeah, faithful suck. Okay, everybody, let's wrap up this part and start doing some calls because, this is to talk to you guys at the end of the day. Okay, so we're going to get off over here on the audio version and on the YouTube version. We're going to sign off. But everybody on Instagram Live, stick around to chat. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. We're here every other Monday live on Instagram Live. Watch What Crappens. I'm at Ronnie Karam. Ben is at Ben Mendelker on Instagram. Follow everybody. Guys, it's going to be great. Love you guys. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Okay, so